Pretty incredible when you think about it. You look at the most collected athlete of 2025 according to PSA cards graded, meaning these cards get submitted to be graded and given a score so that their value is determined. One thing that's incredible about it is that Michael Jordan, these are basketball players, is still on top after.
Look at that chart again. Michael Jordan at the top after all these years. No surprise there. But the name sitting in second place should make everyone stop and pay attention. Caitlin Clark has just surpassed Victor Wembanyama, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James in the most collected athlete rankings tied to PSA trading card submissions. This isn't a popularity poll. This is money. These are collectors paying to submit cards to PSA, the gold standard of professional grading, because they believe those cards will hold long-term value. That's not hype. That's conviction. And the data tells a story even the loudest skeptics can't dismiss.
The Jay-Z line, Michael, Magic, and Bird all rolled in one because Magic and Bird got the NBA off tape delay, and then Jordan, took it from there and reached rarefied air, obviously. But for Caitlin Clark to be above all those other players is another sign of the cultural phenomenon that she's become based on.
The Magic, Bird, Jordan comparison isn't exaggeration. It's the most accurate framework we have. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird rescued the NBA in the 1980s, when finals games were literally tape delayed. Then Michael Jordan took that foundation and turned basketball into a global cultural force. Today, nobody argues Jordan got too much credit. Nobody says the praise should have gone elsewhere. But during his rise, those debates absolutely existed. Purists pushed back. Time, however, made the truth undeniable that that's exactly where we are with Caitlin Clark.
Context to what I just showed you. There's a quote in here from PSA president Ryan Hodge. Professional Sports Authenticator revealed Clark is the most collected active basketball player with over 136,000 cards graded. That's more than LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Anthony Edwards combined. So that's pretty wild. And, especially because this is 2025, not 2024 also. So this is this is in the midst of Caitlin Clark's injury year. There's no dip there. Clark holds 3 of the top 10 most graded cards this year, a clear sign of a cultural phenomenon.
PSA President Ryan Hogue laid out the numbers, and they're staggering. More than 36,000 Caitlin Clark cards have already been graded. That's more than LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Anthony Edwards combined. And this surge didn't slow when Clark missed time with an eye injury, it accelerated. She owns 3 of the 10 most graded cards this year. Hogue called it momentum seen only with the most elite athletes. That's not marketing language. That's a business executive reacting to undeniable data.
Collectors can't get enough of Caitlin Clark, he added. Clark's cards have generated record-breaking demand since entering the collectibles market 2.5 years ago. She's risen to the #1 most collected active basketball player, up from number 6 in the top 10 in 2024. This is the kind of momentum in the hobby only seen from the most elite athletes. And yeah, the
card collecting world cuts through noise in a way social media never can. Submitting a card to PSA costs money. It's an investment decision. These aren't casual fans hitting a like button. These are collectors betting on long-term relevance, scarcity, and cultural staying power. And collectively, they're saying Caitlin Clark is the athlete worth betting on. What matters even more is when this started. This momentum didn't begin after she entered the WNBA. It started over 2 years ago at Iowa. Long before any league marketing push. Long before draft night. This was organic demand built by what people watched her do on the court.
Necessarily, but I did see this comment on a video yesterday I thought was worth addressing in this context. Philip, who really likes when I'm on Busted Open Radio. Great job filling in for Sam Roberts on his Sirius XM show. That's the wrestling, Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. I would love if you could relate Caitlin's organic popularity and emotional connection to fans like Cody Rhodes has. I'm actually working on something bigger picture about that, but I've said this over and over again, and for those of you who don't get the Cody Rhodes reference there, around WrestleMania 40, The Rock had returned to WWE and was going to main event WrestleMania with Roman Reigns, and in the process took Cody Rhodes' spot. but the fans weren't having it, and they rebelled. This was not part of the story. They rebelled to the point like there was a "We Want Cody" movement that it forced them to bump The Rock.
That's where the Cody Rhodes comparison becomes useful. In WWE, fans revolted when The Rock was slotted into WrestleMania over Cody, despite Rock being one of the biggest stars in entertainment history. The backlash wasn't scripted. It was real. So real that WWE changed its plans. They listened because the audience made its voice impossible to ignore. That's the parallel. Caitlin Clark's connection with fans wasn't manufactured. It came from the logo threes, the vision, the competitiveness, the edge. People watched her play and formed a genuine emotional attachment.
Back in it, because there was so much organic fan support. And that is the deal with Caitlin Clark, right? Like, we can sit here and go round and round and on a merry-go-round and on a hamster wheel of ridiculousness, and people talk about overhype or whatever the case may be, but there was a connection that she established with fans who watched her at Iowa and were wowed by the way she played and what she did and the energy she brought to the court and the way she competed and all that stuff that was growing. You know, if you look at, you can, some of the buzzer beaters, you can look at the Louisville game, the triple-double, which went into the South Carolina game, and that South Carolina game was massive numbers, far exceeding the year before, like 70+% up for over the year before. The Big Ten was already setting records for her games. The Angel Reese things happened. That puts it, you know, into the national consciousness even more. The next year, the crossover at
The timeline matters. The Iowa buzzer beaters. The triple-double against Louisville. The South Carolina matchup that drew viewership up more than 70% year over year. The Big Ten already breaking records. Then the Angel Reese moment in the 2023 championship game, an instant cultural flashpoint. Then the game at Kinnick Stadium, with over 55,000 fans, the most attended women's basketball game ever, and the numbers never stopped climbing. LSU, UConn, South Carolina again. Then the national title game, 18.7 million viewers. Nearly 19 million people. Many assumed that was the peak, that it wouldn't translate to the WNBA. They were wrong.
And then the numbers are monstrous for the LSU rematch, and UConn and South Carolina in the national championship goes into the WNBA. And I think this is where some people thought it might have been a fad and weren't prepared for it to actually carry over like that. And which goes to show you the connection that the fans did have, because so many fans came along. And then you see all of a sudden, obviously, WNBA moving to bigger arenas, you know, when her games are in town, ratings records, and now, in large part because of that, a contentious CBA negotiation, because the entire landscape of the league has changed. But, the trading cards, I guess I would say a lot about that.
WNBA teams moved games to larger arenas when the Fever came to town. The Aces moved to T-Mobile Arena. The Mystics to Capital One Arena. The Dream to State Farm Arena. Those weren't publicity stunts. They were business decisions driven by demand. Ratings followed. Clark's games regularly topped 1 million viewers, sometimes nearing 2 million. Before 2024, the average WNBA game drew about 400,000. In one season, the league's economic reality shifted. That's why the current CBA negotiations are so intense. Revenue changed. The league moved from survival mode to potential profitability, and that doesn't happen without new fans and new money.
And it is bandied about, but that's why I've said if they're going to make a Space Jam 3, it would have been maybe Steph Curry at a different time, but right now it's Caitlin Clark. And that's just the simple truth of the matter. And this chart really sums it up well. And like the guy said, it's that connection with the fans, but that didn't come by accident. That came through what she did on the court, and it stuck. And clearly,
which brings us back to the cards. Trading cards are physical proof of cultural impact. Collectors don't chase efficiency ratings. They chase legacy. Michael Jordan remains #1 because his influence still resonates decades later. People who never saw him play still collect his cards. Caitlin Clark, already sitting at #2, above Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, tells you something extraordinary is happening in real time. This level of cultural penetration can't be bought. It can't be engineered. It can't be forced by marketing. It only happens when a player truly captures the public imagination.